Hey, Brian, my name is Nate Hibbert. Thanks so much for replying to our emails and showing interest in this and watching this video. There's two things that I want to cover today as we're just looking at your online assets and the way that you look to customers online. One, for this video, I hope that I can point out some low-hanging fruit for you to go in and change and get some improvements on your accounts immediately, completely free of charge. And the second is to show how you compare to your competition. This might not be the actual person that you're in the most competition with, but from a purely, outsider's perspective, looking at how you compare online, this is someone that I've identified is a competitor in your area, and showing that contrast of like how you're doing versus your competition is important because I understand that you're running a business and that you don't have unlimited resources or time. So while it's fantastic to do everything perfectly and get an A+ on this report card that I'm going to show you in every aspect, I know it's not reality. And so knowing who you're competing with is important because if there's no competition in your area, just having your account up would be more than enough because then all the customers would be able to find you. But because there is competition, the thing that we're really competing for is a top 3 spot on Google Maps, because that's where 80% of customers in your area who are searching for tree service near you are looking. They just look at those top 3 because those are the spots that Google is really pushing the most, is those top 3. And most people don't make it any farther down the list. So that's the area that we're competing with. That we've seen once you kind of crack into that top 3 for whatever your service area is, that you're going to just start to get more traffic naturally because Google is actually pushing your business for you and promoting you more. So the metric that I use there is kind of how much does Google trust you. The more that they trust you, the more they're going to put you, or more likely they are to put you higher up in that list, and also the wider area that they're going to start promoting your business for you. So just some baseline information, but let's go ahead and jump into the report card that I have set up for you here. Make sure this is the right one. I apologize. So overall, your ranking is a C, which is decent. This Tree Doctors of America is the biggest competition that I could identify in your area, and they're a C+. So again, this means, this is good because it doesn't mean you have to get all the way up to a B or an A. Now, if you want to spend the time and the resources and you want to work with me, we can get you up there. Totally perfect. But in reality, just getting to like a B- even, it's not going to instantly jump you up to being ahead of them because some of these factors are weighed at different amounts, meaning like reviews is extremely important. So getting up to a certain amount of reviews is going to be a big help. But these are all, best guesses and best practices. This doesn't mean like immediately a switch is going to be flipped and then you're ranking higher, but it is going to mean that you're trending to rank higher over time, which is a big deal because every day that goes past, there are more and more people searching for tree service online versus, some of the older methods or word of mouth and things like that. So, yeah. Let's dig into these a little bit. The way that I like to do this is first explain how I found Tree Doctor as your competition. For your business, you have a service area, which means that because you don't have a physical address listed on Google Business Profile, you're a service area. This has a few negatives, one of them being anyone inside of the service area is someone that you're competing with. When you have a physical pin, just people, say you're pinned in this area right here, only people in this area would really be your competition. But because this is your entire service area and you're located near Orlando, which is massive, and there's some really big tree service businesses in here, you're competing with all of them. So this is one of the biggest people in Orlando's area, which means that unfortunately you are competing with them. A way to combat this is to have a physical address listed here on your account. I've seen on one of the accounts inside of a directory that you actually do have an address. So I would highly suggest adding that to your Google Business Profile. There are ways that you can do this without putting your exact home address, if that is where you're operating out of, or even if you have a shop and you just don't want that actual address on Google. There are ways to have a physical pin without putting your full address on there. You can just kind of put the street area and be close enough. It is a little workaround. It's not difficult to do, and it's not against like the terms of services or anything like that, but it is something technically that you have to know how to do. So again, happy to talk about that, and if that is one of the things you're concerned with, I can show you a way that you can get the pin so that you can start to rank higher and more people can find your business. It's very hard to do with just a service area. So that's kind of the first thing. But yeah, that's how I found your competition. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this screen here so we can take a look at your business information on the right and my scorecard on the left. The first thing that we're looking at is, are you ranked above a 4.7? You have a 4.9, which is fantastic. And do you have 30 reviews or more? You have 83, which is really good. These two metrics are important because anything less than this, and Google will actually start to suppress your business. Again, Google's big thing is how much can they trust you. And if you're below a 4.7 and you have less than 30 reviews, they can just trust you less. So they're not going to show you to as many people. But you're above both those metrics. So that's fantastic. You're getting more than 2 customer reviews in the last month, which is really good, which means you probably have some system in place for getting these reviews. I definitely think that you could increase the amount of reviews that you're getting if you have a slightly different system or improve the system that you currently have. This number of reviews is very important for the growth of your business, so it's not worth not asking for those reviews from customers. And it looks like you're mostly getting 5-star. Obviously, you're above, the 4.9 and the 4.7. You're going to get, bad reviews every once in a while. It happens to a lot of businesses. All good. But yeah, that's an important metric. The other thing that you're not doing, which is something you can start doing, is responding to these reviews. That's a way to show Google that you're an active business owner, that you're looking at this account. They really like that, and they will reward you for responding to these reviews that you're getting. So you didn't get a check for that, and your competition does. Again, I want to point out these areas where it's like, here's something that you're not doing that your competition is. So some way that you can grow. If you have someone who can be in charge of this account and can respond to them, that's fantastic. This is a service, or part of the service that we offer is responding to these things. So if you did want to work with us, this is something we would handle on your behalf. All right, now let's take a look at, excuse me, let me take a sip of water here. All right. Sorry about that. Let's take a look at your baseline information. So you have tree care right in your business name, which is fantastic. So you get a check for that. You're in the right category. You have tree service as your category, so you get a check for that. You have your phone number attached to your account, so that's great. You have a website link, which is great. You have your social profiles, which we can see here. You have Instagram and Facebook. I believe both of these are working and active. Yes and yes. So that's good. You're not using a booking link, and you don't have that physical location, which we talked about already. You do have open 24 hours, which is fantastic, and you don't have an integrated CRM button. This is probably the hardest thing on this list to do. It's highly dependent on, one, if you're using a CRM, and two, if that CRM is partnered with Google so that you can actually get that button in there. Our favorite CRM is Jobber. And if you're using Jobber, this is a really fantastic way to make your account more unique and for you to stand out in this list. Doesn't look like anyone in this area has that CRM button. So it's a really good thing to do to make your account more unique and catch people's attention just as they're looking at this list, especially once you get into the top 3. You have a giant button that's pretty much this entire width that says, contact us. So that's a really fantastic way that you can stand out and get some more traffic and more clicks to your account. If you have that, great thing to do. If not, it's a bit of a heavy lift to get a CRM integrated into your business. It's something we can assist with, but is kind of a bigger conversation. So the thing that you're missing out on because your competition is doing is just having that physical location. I'm going to explain kind of how important that is. But a thing that your competition is not doing and that you're not doing is having this booking link. Within a matter of 5 to 10 minutes, you can get into your account, identify the area. It's like your basic business information area. And you can see a booking link in there. with your website, you can just go to the Contact Us page, copy this link, and throw it right into your Google Business Profile. And it's going to give you another section here that's going to say Booking Link. And all that does is bring people directly to the Contact Us form. So you want to do that because Google, again, they'll see that you're using the account so they can trust you more. And also for your customers, if they don't want to see your homepage and they just want to go straight to getting in contact with you, it's just a nice way to like kind of jump one extra click and give them the link directly to where they need to go. So completely for free, no charge there, but that is something that can improve your ranking on Google, improve, your uniqueness, which means people are more potentially more interested in working with you just because you catch their eye more with this account. So there's something to think about. For your media, you've done a really good job here. These are great pictures of your crew working. This is, over power lines, which is not easy to do. Not every tree company will do this. You're climbing, again, another thing that not every tree company will do. So you're skilled, you have a skilled crew. That's a great thing to show off. The one thing that it looks like you're missing here is frequently added photos. So that's very powerful. Again, just another way that you can interact with this account. You can be consistent. Uploading pictures here shows Google that you're paying attention and that you can trust them, or that they can trust you, rather. So that's a great thing to do. But a lot of these pictures are really good. The other thing that I will say is having close-ups of faces while they're working, or even just like people in front of your trucks and things, with their faces, like more close-ups of people's faces helps increase the likelihood that people will just trust you. It's a very big thing. Trust with Google is important, but trust with the actual customers is also important. And one way that you can do that, it's been proven time and time again, just like having human faces in these pictures is a great thing to do. So showing them off from a distance, fantastic. Getting some close-ups of your crew working will increase the likelihood or the trust that people have with you just from looking at pictures of your company. Again, probably not going to have a huge impact immediately, but these are the types of things that over time can have an impact and help you win more business. And it is something that your competition is doing, is adding those pictures monthly. So this is one way that you can stay in line with how your competition is doing. This last part, neither you or your competition are doing. This is, a little bit more time consuming and technically advanced. It's not quite as quick or easy, but having your services listed as products, having weekly added posts or updates, and having a Q&A section on your profile are all great things to do. If we look here, you don't have any of those things. You don't have a Q&A section or anything like that. And so again, this is just another way to give Google more information and keep that information coming in consistently with the post, so they'll trust you and therefore rank you higher. And then the more that they'll rank you higher, the farther out they'll rank you. So just the more people can see your business. So I kind of went deep on the Google Business Profile portion of this. And separate this back out. I also want to touch on your website and directories. I'm going to do this a little bit faster. Again, if you're interested in any of this information, I leave my booking information right below this, so you can book a time with me and we can talk directly about this. And then also some of our price points for, just your basic Google Business Profile management, which is everything I've covered so far, is $500 a month for us to stay on top of that, help you with the best practices, help you climb up that list. And honestly, I think this is like kind of the lowest money spent for highest impact that you can have with your business. Some of these other things, they're going to take more time and more effort, but this is a way to get some quick wins and start helping your business rank higher. So I really believe in the power of Google Business Profile, and I don't think it's talked about or known about enough as far as like how effective this can be. So, when it comes to your website, there's two massive things that I'm looking for, Google's looking for, any other search engine that's trying to find information about your business is looking for, and it's the service area. So where exactly are you working, and your location, or your service pages, which is exactly what you're doing, and your location pages, which is exactly where are you working. If you take a look at your website, you do have services, and you have a bit of information here, but this is not enough information to make you like really unique and for any type of search engine to really see you as a resource or a knowledge leader in this area. And so what we suggest is that each one of these things, pruning, tree removal, stump grinding, have their own page, and each page has 1,500 words or more of content on there. And that's enough information for these search engines to come to you for some information, and then showing that to customers that would potentially be looking for that information. So that, and the same thing is true for the locations. Same thing, you want to have all the locations that you work in, and each location should have its own page, whether you divide that by like area codes or zip codes or cities, or however you want to divide that up. But some really good information to put in those pages is like the neighborhoods that you work in, or specific areas that you work in, and then also the types of trees in those areas that are common. That's great information for the search engines, for Google to look at, and for your customers to look at. So these are two areas that honestly a lot of websites are missing. Unfortunately, your competition in your area does have them. I think I have that pulled up here. Yeah, so service areas, they have all the service areas, and then they have a good bit of information about each one of those service areas, and then the same thing for their services. They have tree removal, and then they have a whole page dedicated to tree removal. So this is the way that the website should look, because of how much SEO love that you'll get, love from Google customers. This isn't loading for whatever reason, but that is a very good thing to do. When it comes to functionality, you have a contact us form, which is fantastic, but you don't have your matching contact info, or NAP, as Google refers to it as, which is your name, address, and phone number. So usually in the footer of every page, you want that information. You have your phone number here, but you should also have your name like typed out. Here you have the logo, but Google can't necessarily, this isn't as searchable as just having plain text. So having your name, once again, typed out is important, and then having your address. Again, I know you don't have that on your Google Business profile, but that is something that, if you add it here, adding it to your website is going to help Google have the confidence that this website, yes, does indeed match with the Google Business profile. So that's something you could take a look at. For your performance, I use a website called Page Speed Insight. This was looking at your competition, because I also ran the same report for them. But I look at whether you're mobile responsive and you're fast loading. These are actual factors that Google looks at, and this is actually a Google tool. So this is very close to how they look at your performance. So you are mobile responsive, which is great, but you're not fast loading. So that's something to take a look at. If you have a web guy, going to this website, putting in your URL, and then sending that report to him is like this copy link thing at the top here. It's a fantastic thing to do. Just say like, hey, can we work on this? If you don't have a website guy, that's another thing we can help you with. That's going to be a different cost, but that can have a big impact on how much Google trusts you, which again helps you rank higher. So that's the website stuff. And then this last one, the directories, it looks like you are on 2 directories, which is fantastic. And you have that matching name, address, and phone number in 2 of them, which is great. We could get you on Yellow Pages, which again helps build trust with Google. It also is, potential for you to catch more traffic. If there are people who go to Yellow Pages and are looking at tree service, that's a great thing to do. I have this tool that I use here that helps us get listed on a lot more directories, about 40. And this helps us go in, makes those accounts, and links them all back. And these are like the numbers of how much traffic you're potentially missing out on. I honestly see more of an impact for doing this in your Google ranking. This is one of the first things I like to do, and I've seen people rank jump up quite a bit just from getting them listed on different directories. But this does have the secondary bonus of, people do use these websites for trying to find help or services in their area. So you're just going to catch some more traffic from being listed on all these directories as well. So something to keep in mind. Okay. So that was a not so quick run through of the report card. But again, 2 things to keep in mind. One is, your actual ranking, and are you doing all the things that I can see from an outsider perspective? If I do end up working with you, there's a lot more knobs and dials and stuff that we can tweak on the back end to make your ranking and trust with Google go even higher. But comparing yourself to the competition to see, in reality, how do you start ranking in the top 3 for your area is the big thing that we're looking at. So we don't need to focus on every single section immediately, but trying to figure out, like, can we, improve your website? Can we add some of this baseline business information? These are all great things to do to start building more trust with Google than your competition, and then start ranking higher than it. So hopefully that's helpful. If you have any additional questions or want to get in contact with me, we can continue to talk through email. I can send you a link to my calendar as well, so you can just grab time right on there. I really like talking to local service businesses. I started this by working with some of my family members who have local service businesses and were struggling. They both were in similar positions where they were paying like $4,000 to these marketing companies that they hadn't talked to in multiple years. I went in and did an audit very similar to this and was able to point out a couple of things and kind of, in a couple of months, start to increase the amount of leads that they were getting just by paying more attention. So that's who I am. I'm a small business. I have a very small team, and I've had some success in the last 2 years that I've kind of pivoted. I was working in more of a corporate environment and doing marketing for a very large chemical company, and we were doing all these great big campaigns and things, but it just was colossally slow, and there's so much red tape. So when I saw the opportunity to help some family members and have some proof that I was actually able to help them and transfer some of my skills into local service business, I've made the jump completely now into having my own business and agency to help local service businesses. So if that's something you're interested in, you just want to talk to me, if you have some more questions for me, you can feel free, again, to contact me through email, or we can jump on a call and talk more. I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks so much.